Hello all, welcome back. Now let's move on to the next topic. So in the previous session we had seen how to simulate a linear model also by using all these normal variates and stuffs. So fine. So now we were going for generating some random numbers based on normal variates or Poisson variates or even other kinds of binomial distributions you can very well use. But in simple terms, can you go for generating simple numeric values? Yes, you can do it. So have you heard of this term called as sampling? Yes. So what is this sampling? From a huge set of data, you are going to take very few subset of it, right? Suppose I have some 1 lakh records and I am going to sample it, where I say I am going to take only 10 records out of it. So in random I am going to take 10 records separately, and in random I am going to do something. Fine. So this we call it as sampling. So this sampling could be performed in R. So how do we do it? So you have a simple function, a single function, which I call it as sample. So this sample will help you to go for taking a subset of from a huge set, right? So you can specify it. Now suppose I say some 1:100. So which means I have some 100 numbers, and out of that I am going to just take 5. Yes, see, you have got some 5 random numbers. Similar to your R norm, each and every time you go for executing it, you will get different set of 5 numbers. Fine, you can go for getting different set of 5 numbers. So this is not only with this. Now for example, now I say not only with this, you can just even go for giving just 1 to 10. So every time 10 different numbers will be generated. See, from 1 to 10 it will be generated in a different manner. Same 1 to 10 it will be shuffled and it will be displayed. So the first value, the second value, everything will display. Similarly, not only with numeric values, even you can go with letters, that is alphabets. You can just simply give letters, and if I say 5, you will get random 5 letters each and every time. See here. So for the first time you got a different one, second, third, fourth. You can go on for using this sample function for sampling just some random set of numbers or random set of characters or letters, I can say. Fine. So this is the simple logic behind this sample. So generally we don't use this sample for simple numeric values and letters. So what we do? So we use this sampling function. The sampling is more useful only in a data set. Okay. So you have a huge data set. You want to just randomly pick up some 5 records out of it and you want to do some analysis. Yes, you can very well do it. So how do you do it? I will just give you a simple example. In the previous sessions we had discussed about one particular data set which is by default available in R console. So you can just go on with the same thing, library of data sets. So we had seen what is that data set. It is air quality. Yes, so head of air quality. So you can see these are the columns. So you have how many records? I think in the previous session itself we had seen how many records. It had some 156 records, that is 156 rows were there. Suppose out of these 156 rows you want to just take some 5 rows at a time and you want to go for analyzing something. So how can you sample it? So each time if you want some random 5 records, yes, it is possible. So shall we see how it is? Yes. So first in this case we have to first generate one index vector. So what is that index vector? It is going to say out of these many records I want only 5 records. So I have to first do that. So before I go for it, I have to first get to know how many records are there. Now since this is already known to me, I have told you that 153 records are there. Otherwise, if you have to get to know how many records are there, so how do you do it? Now suppose I say my index vector. So I say index vector is equal to, so how do I find? I have one function which is called as seq, sequence underscore length. So it is going to find what is the length of that sequence. So what length you want? I want this n row. So n row of air quality. So how many rows are there? That length I want. Fine. So that is my index vector. Okay. If you want, we can check out. So what is this index vector? See here, I said 153 records are there. So you have got 153. So that is the length. Fine. So this index vector is generated with 153 items. So now with this, out of these 153, I want only 5. So how do I do what? I have to sample it. Now let me say what is my sample. So I say sample of air. So I want some sample. So what I do, I say sample of, and I have this index vector. Out of this, yes, I am going to take only 5. Okay, yes. Now this has to be from your air quality. Yes. So this sample is for what? The air quality. So I say the air quality is my data frame or the table which is having 153 records. Out of that, I have to take only this sample. Yes. So the sample whichever I set and all my columns. Fine. All my columns. So I say the sample air is going to be the number of rows I require and all columns. Now let's see here. See, you have got some 5 random rows. Similarly, again when you execute, see, you are getting it. Yes, fine. So each and every time you can get. So how do I get? If you want this to be modified, so instead of directly giving it like this, what I can do, I can go for the other way is I can directly say air quality of sample of index underscore vector comma 5, and I can give the column here. Yes, now you see. So each and every time when you execute, what you get different 5 values. So are you able to find the difference? So in the previous thing when I did, I was going on getting the same. Yes. So we are not executing the sample function again in that case. So we are only executing this alone. Yes. So if you want that to happen, what you have to do, you have to either go for executing both this again and again, or you can go for combining it like this. Yes, you can go for combining it like this. You can say out of these many rows, I want this sample alone and with all the columns, right? So you can do this. So in this also you can set a seed. So I can say set seed of 1. Fine. Now let me go for executing it. See, I have got 68, 129, 43. So you can remember this. Now you can go for some executing something. Now again, if you want, now I have to go for recalling the seed which was executed before. See, 68, 129, 43, 14, 51. Yes. So this is how you can combine your set seed function here as well. So this concept we call it as random sampling. So you can sample some random numbers and you can go for using it. So the general usage is that it can be used in data frames and data sets. A huge data set if you have, you can sample it and you can proceed. So for that sample alone, you can try going for a linear model or whatever model you are going to do. So linear model or regression model or whatever it is, you can go for analyzing it over that sample set alone. Yes, fine. So you can try out all these functionalities with so many examples. If you get any errors or if you wanted to go with any clarifications, you can very well post your queries to me. I'll be happy to respond. Thank you.